All right, we are top of the hour. I think we could give it a go and then see when people flow in. They'll be able to catch up as we begin with the basics. Thanks everyone for joining the live on ServiceNow session for process mining for sales order management. Today, we're going to cover a lot of topics, so just get started with it. First, with the round of introductions. So, I'm Rosemin Parpia. I go by Roz. I'm one of the product managers for process mining at ServiceNow. And joining me today are two of my colleagues. I have Dan Grady and Damien Pascal. He's not on the slide, but he's joining us. He'll be supporting the Q&A as well. I just want a minute for their introduction. So, Dan and Damien, do you want to say hello?
Or Damien, would you like to go first? I'll take that as no. Dan's going to go first. Dan Grady, I'm part of the process mining product management team. Damien, who's being shy or stepped away, is also part of the process mining product management team. Nice to be here.
Good morning, good afternoon. Sorry about that.
All righty. So thanks both of you. And so a request to you that if you have any questions while I'm speaking, please use the Q&A chat box and Dan or Damien will pick it up and answer your questions. Do not put it in the chat because we don't have it for a history to save later on. So just a humble request that use the Q&A box and not use the chat box. All right. So moving on, just getting out of the way for the safe harbor notice, which means that anything that we say in this meeting, please do not rely on that for any purchasing decisions. Go by our official release documents. So just a quick alert about that. And we have done a lot to make these sessions effective for you guys. So first of all, as I mentioned, the Q&A chat box, just whatever comes in your head, type it away and we'll answer your Q&A. And the second thing is that you don't need to take any notes or kind of try to remember everything we say here because a recording will be available to you after the session. It does take a few days to come up, but we will be posting the recording as well. And then after the session, you'd be prompted for a survey. So we highly recommend that you give us all your feedback so we can make these sessions better in Today's agenda is to cover process mining's basics first, because a lot of you already know what process mining is. But if you've showed up here not knowing a thing about process mining, do not worry, because we'll cover a few slides and even a quick demo on the top features of process mining. And then I'll talk about sales order management and what does it mean, the basics of sales order management, and then jump into a demonstration showing you how to use process mining for sales order management. And we'll end up with the Q&A session. We'll take some live answering of some live questions that you put in the Q&A box. And of course, point you to the tips and resources for self-learning process mining. So to begin with the basics of process mining, what really it is, as you know that everything that you do in ServiceNow is being recorded in something called a audit log or event log, and it looks somewhat like this, where every single update made to an incident or a request or a change, any record type or a sales order for that matter, is being recorded in the audit log. Here you can see the state field of the record has changed, or the assignment group has changed, or the short description has changed. Everything is being recorded in the audit log, and that's what is basically used to generate process map automatically for you in just a matter of minutes. So if you point your process mining to the state field of a record, then you'd have something like this. The beautiful map here shows how your records have transitioned from new to assigned to in progress and finally to closed. It shows how many records flew through and how much time on average it took them to go from new to closed. If you point it to the assignment group field, for example, it would look somewhat like this, how the tickets have moved between groups and ping-ponging from one group to another and so on. But you can literally point the solution to any field you wanted to, with some restrictions, of course, but you'll be able to generate these process maps quickly based on which table you are pointing it to and which fields you select as an activity in your mining. But some people ask us, oh, so are these the only capabilities that process mining offers, the generation of the process map? But that's not true. We have a ton of other machine learning and AI-based capabilities that the product offers. So I'm just going to quickly toggle to my instance to show you a quick demonstration of it. Now, this is not a full-fledged demo because this session is not meant to be process mining demo. We have a ton of materials I'll point you to later on that you could go look at a full-fledged demo for. But for today, just to give you a taster, I'm going to show you the top 10 features of the product. So when you've mined your data set, be it an incident table or a request or order table, you land on this summary and insights page first, which is coming up here. So there's lots of good information here on this page. It shows you how your tickets have been trending and the resolution times of it. And most importantly, it gives you this pattern detection feature of process mining where it tells you that your records have been facing from all these bad data patterns, and this comes out of the box for free that you could implement on your data set. So for example, here it says that your incidents in this example are suffering from rework, and the meaning of rework is explained here, that when one step is revisited or redone. And you can even then go deeper into that pattern, which is 8% of your data set suffering from rework. And when you click on it, it shows you a process map for it and how the records for those specific 2000 records have been doing rework, as you see here. And if you were to then think about from the assignment group perspective, you can just change the view to just show you assignment groups, and it'll show you the transition of records from one group to another. And from here on, you can experience a lot of advanced functionality of process mining by clicking on any transition, from where you could go deeper and say that I want to do RCA, which is a root cause analysis. And in minutes, it would tell you that the reasons or the root causes for this anomaly of tickets being ping-ponging between groups. Is it because the category of incident is so and so, or when the incident comes from service portal, and so on. And on the same transition, you can have other features, which is clustering. So it clusters the keywords in the short description field of your records and nudges you that could the process anomaly be because of these words like laptop, Mac, and so on and so forth. So that was clustering and RCA. And also you can drill down very quickly to the base records from where your process maps were generated. And it gives you like a list view of all the records, very quick and easy drillability, which is difficult in a third-party tool. When you get the data in, it's very difficult to drill down in a third-party tool, but in ServiceNow, you have this quick drillability. So these were some of the main features. On the left side, you see breakdown where you're able to then dissect the data by different breakdowns and say, okay, which assignment group or which priority or which channel is taking longer than the others. Variation analysis will give you the steps in your process, which of the records take more steps. Like you see here, 12 steps. And if I hover over 11 steps, it tells you that your process was designed to be executed in, say, 5 steps. And why is it taking so long? And why are the tickets ping-ponging from one group to another? Then on the top here, the very popular feature we have here is the compare feature, where you're able to compare any two process maps alongside each other. In this example, I'd like to show you before you improve your processes on the left side and after you improve your processes on the right side, before and after analysis. And you'll see that after you improved your processes, the map is a bit tidier than when it was before you had any process improvements executed. You can even see a comparison that, which is a very strong evidence that process improvement is not a waste of time, and it does lead to reduction in the routes taken, reduction in the average duration and median duration, and so on. So this is also one of our very popular feature, chat functionality, where you can post notes And then just one more feature I'd like to show you before we move on to the slide deck. So multi-dimensional maps is also very popular, where on one page you can bring more than one table. Like here I have incident problem change. You can bring maybe order or task table alongside your order task, and you can have the similar analysis done of how the records flow between these three record types and where is the time being wasted. Like for example, here 10 hours from after problem was closed, what happened to the incident, and so on. So this is just a quick taster of the top features. It's not a comprehensive list of everything. So I do highly recommend that you watch our demonstration materials available on the portal. I'll refer you to. But just in a nutshell, we've showed you today process map. We showed you pattern detection, which is improvement opportunities that you can very quickly see in a quick and easy manner and drill down from there. Bottleneck analysis is also a very popular feature. Variation analysis we saw today, which are the steps that take longer in a process. Breakdowns, a compare feature, then notes and multi-dimensional map. Machine learning, we showed you clustering today, root cause analysis, and work notes analysis is based on Now Assist AI functionality is also coming in through, where you can summarize the work notes between any two transitions in your process map and see a summary of work notes, so you don't have to go into each and every record and read the work notes. So we suggest that you just take this as a starting point and go and refer to our full demo, which is also available on YouTube. And you can just, not in a flighty way that I have given you a demo right now, but you can in your very patient and, easygoing manner, watch the demonstration to fully understand each and every feature. All right, so that was all about process mining. I'm sure that you want to put your hands on it and try on your own data set rather than any sample data set. The good news is that you can do that right from your production instance. There are projects available to you if you are in Yokohama release. There are 3 projects in for incident HR and customer service case where you can mine 7 days of your own data set for up to 3,600 records for free. So do make sure that you make use of this opportunity, and there is no cloning of data required in subprod, or there's no requirement to install plugins even. You can right away go into your production environment and try it out. And the features that I showed you today, all those features you can try out in your evaluation project. And there is a blog post out there, which the link to which is here. And if I open that blog post, it lands up here where you have this post by Dan, where basically we're talking about how to use the evaluation project in different use cases, like how to do it for incident, HR case, customer service. So do use these video recordings, click on whatever seems like relevant for you, and make sure that you use these recordings and try out the product. Just a last thing about trying out. So for example, if you are in your production environment, all you have to do is come to Process Mining Workspace. And from there, you will come to this page, which is Process Mining Workspace, of course, and type the word evaluation there. Very nice and easy. You'll see these 3 projects available that I talked about, and you just need to mine it. That's all. And you will see all the process maps and the pattern in your own data set. That's how easy we've made it for you. All right, now switching gears to the next topic for today, which is process mining and sales and order management. For those of you who showed up like not knowing a thing about SOM, don't worry, we'll just cover a few basics quickly. So what McKinsey survey says is that the more streamlined your organization's lead to cash processes are, the higher the probability of the customer satisfaction and value. And we all agree that it's kind of a no-brainer. But how do you streamline your processes? You do it through process mining, where you're able to spot the inefficiencies in your processes and then able to improve on that. So that's why in this session, we are bringing the 2 products together, process mining and sales order management. Moving on to some basics on sales order management. So the first thing is that the benefits of sales order management is it enables organization to have this continual stream of lead to renewal cycle. So whenever you have your first customer come up to you, they're not yet a customer. Often they come up as a lead, and the lead will then ask you for information, for quotations, and you give the quotes. The quotes are approved by them, they like it, and then they end up ordering something from you. So that's like in a layman's term what sales order management is. It's kind of removing the silos between sales, your quotation departments, apologies, quotation department and the order management teams, and it brings everything together in a single data model and architecture, and it also simplifies your processes from lead to cash by using AI powered automation. It connects your sales and order processes. So you'll see me today giving a demo of how to mine your opportunity table, quotation table, and customer order table. And aside from that, there are other functionalities like lead management also included in that product. So these are just in a nutshell the capabilities of sales order management. It also allows you to define new products and services. So other than quotation, lead, opportunities, customer orders, it also has something called product catalog. So you can build your own catalog and you can even price your products in there. And it also allows you to do catalog driven orchestration. Post-sale lifecycle workflows are also covered in sales order management product, and it also includes case management for orders and invoices, contract and entitlement workflows as well. So this is just a glimpse of what the product includes in terms of the capabilities, and we highly recommend you go to sales order management community site and explore the product in full depth from there. Today we are just trying to give you a few basics to get started today. So at the end of the session today, we will do a demonstration on how to mine all the three tables, opportunities, quote, and customer order, and spot these kind of anomalies that when the opportunity is converted into a quote, how long does it take? 2 months. So these are some, very stark kind of inefficiency spotted when the sales order is completed right from beginning to end. So we'll cover all this cool stuff, but first I think we need to focus on how to do this. So if you have entitlement and you want to do on your own mining of data that is stored in sales and order management product, then you need to have some light touch configuration done. So I'm going to cover that bit first, and then I'm going to show you how to create a project in process mining workspace and create a analysis and what results it shows from there. The data that I'll show you is not good. It's sample data. So just try to draw parallels and try to understand the functionalities based on that and experiment that in your own data set afterwards. So first off, you need to install the sales and order management app from the store. So and this is the link to it. So it has how to kind of get started with SOM. If you haven't even installed SOM first, then you will obviously not be able to use process mining on it. So check with your account team, check your entitlement. And once you sort that out, then this is where you can install your SOM app from. And there are different versions and types of it here. Like one is for quote management, other is for order management. So I'm just leaving you with this link. You can explore with your system admin or your platform team which one works out for you. So once you install it from the store, the SOM app, then you need to assign roles. So this link is for role assignment. So for assigning SOM roles, what you need to do is make sure that the tables that you plan to mine. So for example, for today, I'm going to show you mining for opportunity table and customer orders table or quote table. Then you need to assign those roles to yourself, at least one of these roles in lead management, so that you're able to access the data. And for opportunity management, these are the roles you can pick from, anything that's relevant for you, and for quote management. So once you've assigned roles, then the next step is that you need to assign yourself process mining roles. So that is this link here. In process mining, you have very few roles, and what we suggest to you is that you go with Let me show you here. Yeah, so you either go with the process mining analyst role or power user role. But if you are going to make some configuration related changes, then you must have either of these two roles. For example, I'll show you today how to set up a process configuration for process mining, and for which you will need the admin role or the power user role. So make sure that you have these roles sorted out so that you don't run into any problems later on. All right, so we've covered some from store, some roles, process mining roles. We've covered the power user and admin role that's important to assign to be able to configure process configuration, and make sure the audit is turned on. So audit log is very important for mining. So if you are gonna mine the opportunity table or the quote table, the first thing you must do is go in and check if the audit is turned on for those tables or not. And if not, you must first turn it on, let the data collect, and then you can mine it. So the three tables, opportunity table, the full name of the table is this, the quote table and the order table. Sometimes it's a bit confusing in terms of what's the technical name of that table. So I've just put the table names here for simplicity and for your reference when you start mining. So when you're done with these basic steps, then the next step is to create a process configuration. So you need to access process configuration, create a new record for each table that you want to mine. So for any table that you're targeting to mine, you must have a process configuration record for it. Sometimes it comes out of the box from ServiceNow created for you, and other times you have to create it. It's not a very difficult exercise or something overwhelming that you should be scared of. It's very easy to create a process configuration record, and I'll show you how to do that today by using a guided setup that we have for you. So let me just toggle into something that I have here as a recording on how to create a process configuration record. So you see here, I'm accessing the process mining workspace, and I'm just going to go with that a top button on the left, sorry, the settings button on the bottom to access the process configuration records, and click create new. So you can also access process configuration from all menu. So there are two ways to access it, whatever works for you. Once you are on this page, then you'll see that there is no process config for opportunity table or quote table or customer order table. So you must create one. So to create one, just click on the button and type the name of the table you're interested in creating. In this example, I would first create it for opportunity. But the name of the table is very important. It must be this core opportunity one. And then click on get started. And here's the guided setup. So there are 4 steps involved. The first one is process details, which we'll fill out. So which field represents progression of records through steps. And for my opportunity, probably it's the stage of the opportunity that's shows the progression of an opportunity. If you have custom fields, please go with those. But out of the box, we have stage. Then which represents the team owning this opportunity. And if you don't have things like an assignee for it, maybe you can use updated by. In this example, I think I'll try to use the updated by field for now. If you have any other like a team allocation for opportunity, please use that assignment group or relevant field for this particular section. Then you don't need to fill out everything here, but try and fill out as many fields possible so that you have a better analysis. Account is a good breakdown. You can even add for opportunity different other fields that might help you dissect the data better when you start mining. So the purpose of filling this out is that when you actually start mining the data, you get these suggestions based on what you fill out here. So lead is another good one for an opportunity. And maybe the source where the opportunity came from is another good breakdown. So we're just using our out of the box fields. Please feel free to use the relevant breakdown fields for yourself. You can skip to the next step where you can fill out the root cause analysis. So if process mining were to do root cause analysis, which fields are relevant. And I've just put again account, source, and lead. You can put anything of your liking there. Clustering, work notes analysis is something you can configure later on or from the get-go if you wanted. If you have any KPIs related to some already there in ServiceNow, you can reuse it. This is a last step improvement opportunity where the system has now suggested all these cool out of the box patterns for you. So just grab them without thinking. This is all for free. Extra step, rework, slow transition, extreme duration on the stage field. And all you need to do is add selected, because this will help you detect these patterns on your data set. So once you've done that, you pretty much are done. You can click on Get Recommendations to see if you missed out on any patterns. Based on what you fill out here in step number 1, these fields will be used for pattern suggestions that the system makes in the improvement opportunity step. So just to make sure that you fill out the right fields so that you get the right patterns here. And then we're pretty much done. We click on finish and we've set up the opportunity table and you're all set to mine it now. But I think we'll do it for the other 2 tables as well, slowly and easily, because this is an important step. So repeat the same for, say, customer order. And exact same process, which fields on customer order are important for you now. So think about it. Is it the state field of an order? Whatever is in your instance, check with your platform owner or your system administrator who knows which field represents the teams owning a record. So you can just find out from your instance which are the relevant fields. For some orders, could be the assignment group or any other custom field relevant for you guys. As you can see, I'm just looking at my data set to find out which ones are relevant. For assignee, who is the one who works on a customer order, maybe the assignee. But if you don't find the relevant ones, you can leave it blank to just initiate the process. But later on, come back in and do fill those out, because the more you fill out, the more patterns you get, and you get more suggestions when you eventually mine. For breakdowns, order type maybe is a good breakdown. The account is a good breakdown. And then you can go on with the next step, which is the exact same features, root cause analysis. You can add those same fields, cluster analysis. And the next step is the KPIs. Again, I talked about if you don't have KPIs for now, you could skip it, but it's a good practice to have it. These are those patterns I discussed before for the customer order table this time around. And they are based on the process details section. Finish, and we're done with setup for customer order. Now, the only thing left is a quote. So let's do it for the quote table. For quote, I think we do have a state here, and which team owns a quote. We do have assignment group. That's great. Okay. And then who works on a quote, probably assigned to, yeah. And then any other fields that you want to add to your quote analysis, you can do that in the breakdown fields. I think for quote, you might find the channel as a useful field. You can even dot walk to any other field that you're interested in adding as breakdowns. Account is another good field. Root cause analysis, you can pick the same fields or any other field that you're interested in. KPIs, you can skip it for now. And then the last step is the improvement opportunities or the patterns. You have very good stack here suggested to you by the system. All you need to do is just add them all to your process configuration library. Yeah. And just finish. And that's where we are kind of done with our creation of process configuration. Now, so this step is done. We are done with setup. We're done with process configuration. Now the real meat of the matter is the mining project. So when you create a new project, you specify which project you want to, which table you want to mine. You follow the guided setup. You provide crucial information. It will not mine without activities. Make sure you fill out activities, even if you leave other stuff blank. Full mine if you're entitled, sample mine if you are cloning your data or you're using any other methods to mine. And then you can review your results. So I'm going to show you these two steps now in my demonstration. So let's go back to our clipping here. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go into this the side button. The first one is to create a project and click on create new project. You can name the project as you like. So we're going to mine the customer order analysis, for example. Make sure that you pick the correct table name. So sometimes table names are a bit confusing, but you need to make sure you're mining the right table. Click on create project. And then you have this guided setup where you can put activities. So for customer order table, if you don't know what activities are, just click on get recommended fields, which is a very cool feature. So if you don't know, just pick what's suggested. And the suggestions are coming out of your process configuration record, by the way, that you just filled out. And then you can save it. At least one activity is required. You could add multiple if you wanted to. There's an asterisk there, which means you must fill out activities. You can put filter condition like I want customer orders only that were closed last quarter, or any other filter criteria that you're interested in scoping your analysis at. Then breakdowns would be the ones that we already have in our process config account order type. So this is a very cool way of suggesting to the user who's not very trained in process mining, and to add any other child tables, but we're going to keep it very simple. We're going to go to the next step, which is set improvements opportunity. Rule-based, there is a button add from the library, but we don't have any rule-based library at the moment. But the good news is we have the automated patterns that we just, system suggested patterns that comes for free, and we just quickly add them to our project. So at this step, it is applying these cool patterns from process configuration record to your project. And that's about it. You just go to the last step and you start mining. Full mine. So it depends on the size of your data set. It would take about 5 minutes or so to mine. But if there's a very small data set, like in this case, it would be very quick and easy, just about half a minute or a minute to even mine. So here you see that it's analyzing audit log and it's 24 seconds, it's done. And you can click on view in workspace. And there you go. It shows you your process map, which, as I told you, the sample data is really bad. But even so, it tells you stuff about your flow of your customer orders. It started from new, and from new it went to acknowledge, and then from acknowledge to on hold in 32 seconds. But it took 1 year to get acknowledged, which is a funny data set. But yes, you can try it out in your instance and on your data set to quickly find out if your customer orders are facing any process inefficiencies. You could put breakdowns and see all these accounts, and you can filter, apply filters for a specific account that you're interested in mining. And in variation analysis, you can then see which steps are taking longest in your instance for the orders to get completed right from start to end. Bottleneck analysis gives you the two nodes in your data that take the longest time, 1 year, 3 months between completed and on hold. So this is just a quick run through of customer order table mining. Hope you are getting the gist of how to do it, and you're able to implement it in your instance. On opportunities page here, the patterns are, because my data set is skeletal, I wasn't able to show you much, but there is something in the quotes table I'll show you later on. But as you mine more information, you'll get more patterns in there. Now let's do a complex use case here where we can create a project for the multi-dimensional map that I was showing you earlier, where you can bring three tables onto one page: quote, order, and your opportunity. So this is a multi-dimensional one, and it's not rocket science really. You just need to start with your quote table, because the quote table is the one that joins the other two table, order and opportunity. So go first with the quote table, and then I'll show you how to add the child tables to it. So the exact same guided setup, you have a scope your analysis step where you can add filters if you wanted to. Make sure activities are added no matter what, because you can't mine without it. So for the code table, the state is an activity you can add there and save it. All right, now breakdowns, you could add if you wanted to, but I'm just going to focus more on how to add child table for today, because for multi-dimensional map, you must click on add child entity. That's the important part. So if you add a child table now, so the parent, of course, you've added code there, but the other table would be customer order table that you want to add for multi-dimensional mapping. And the relationship between the quote and the customer order table is a parent-child relationship. So make sure you give the right relationship there, and the source field is just one, so that's easy, and you save it. And that's about it. You've basically added customer order as a child table. Make sure you fill out the activity. So on a customer order table, the activity is the state field. Save it there. All right, so we're done, and then you can add one more table as a child table if you wanted to, which is the opportunity table. So that's also very easy to do, and you know that the name of the table is the opportunity table. Yeah, the core opportunity, and you can put the relationship between the two tables. In this case, it's the reference relationship between quote and opportunity, and you can select the target field. So once you know this table schema and you've sorted this out, then it's very easy to just quickly add tables as child tables. And that's about it. You have basically done all the setup. Just the make sure that for opportunity you've added an activity there, because that's important stage of an opportunity. So all three tables are added with at least the activity filled out, if not everything else. And then the next step is the patterns or improvement opportunities. We know that we have automated patterns, and we can just add them from the library quickly, and make sure you select them all, apply to your project, and then click on review and mine, and it will start mining your, do a full mine on it. All right, so when it is mining, I just probably take you back to my instance, because I have better data to show here probably. So this is how your multi-dimensional map looks in my instance here. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, I've just lost access, so I'll have to roll back to the recording here. So yeah, so basically it just shows you the relationship between the three tables, and how, between opportunity and quote, how much time was lost, and between quote and order, how much time is lost. You can hide incoming connection, outgoing connections. If the map looks a bit crowded to you, then this is how you can hide the connections to keep it simple for you guys. But the whole idea is that you're able to see how much time from the completion of the code up till the order submission, and how many records took how long. So this is a very good way to spot any inefficiencies in your data set. You can even change which tables you want to hide or unhide the connections on. So here 6 months, sorry, 2 months for the records to go from opportunity one to the quote draft stage, which is exactly what I was showing you as promised on this map here. All right, so I think we've covered the demo section for today where we saw how easy it is to set up first to mine sales order management. Then we did a simple use case of mining customer order table. And then we went on to do a complex use case of mining all the three tables and how to spot inefficiencies in them. I think I have some pattern detection deployed on my here in this instance to kind of give you a sense of how the pattern detection, which is the opportunities page, which is a very important one as well. Because my sample data is very poor, you're not able to see enough opportunities. But this is how it shows ping pong for the code table here. You'll be able to see a lot of patterns, like 3 or 4 pages worth if there are lots of process anomalies in your data set. But for now, I just wanted to show you this is how it looks, where my quote is ping-ponging between these two assignment group, and it shows up here under the improvement opportunities section. All right, that was quite of a heavy lifting there of kind of understanding SOM and everything. I hope it was not too much of a brain racker for you guys, but it is worth understanding it to be able to mine everything. I'd like to switch gear to the next section, tips and resources. But before that, I want to bring in Dan and Damien to kind of call out any good questions that might have come out and if they want to answer them live.
A couple of questions came in. One of them was kind of like around what is necessary to kind of generate these maps, and I think you covered it during the session, but just to kind of reiterate the key pieces, right? What process mining is based on is the audit log level data, right? What's changing about certain records, whether they be orders or quotes or incidents or cases, right? As those work items move through the ServiceNow platform, right? Certain aspects of them change. Usually it's a state or an assignment group. As long as we're capturing all that data in the platform, that's the data that we're using to generate the maps. So pretty much you can apply process mining to any process out there. Whether Roz covered sales and order management today, but you name it, we can apply process mining to it. We just need that audit log data, and the good news is it's turned on by default for pretty much most workflows on the platform. So that was one question you covered, but I figured I'd reiterate that. There was some question around entitlement. You called out the evaluation projects, which are activated in customers' instances as of Xanadu. So like you said, in the Xanadu release, there's an evaluation project available in all instances for incident. And then in Yokohama, there's evaluation projects for HR case and customer service case. You can always try what you saw here today in your sub-production environment. The same restrictions as the evaluation projects apply. You'll only be able to mine up to 3,600 records. But the key there with entitlement is there's different ways to get entitlements to process mining. You should just work with your account team to understand whether you're currently entitled, and if not, what would be the best model for you. And then the last question that I think came in that we need to share with the group was just around kind of the recording of this session. I think the question was more along the lines of, this is amazing. I can't wait to show others how amazing that this is. Will the recording be available? And the answer is, of course, yes, it'll be available. Damien mentioned that it'll be posted probably usually within 7 days. It gets posted to the Live On Now site where you found the link to register. But we also try to consolidate. We put in the chat a link to a page on the community where we try to consolidate all the different workflow specific recordings that we have out there. As Roz mentioned earlier, there's probably 500 plus hours worth of our team discussing process mining on the internet. We try to kind of guide you to the appropriate content as best we can. This session will be linked to from that page that we put in the chat where it's got the workflow specific content. I think I covered all the questions, but now's a good time to get more questions in if you have them. Put them in the Q&A and we'll get them answered.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. And just a kind of, an awareness that Dan talked about, that we have free resources. You don't have to pay for it, but not many people know how to access them. And it's very easy. There are these links here. And even if you don't have the links, you just have to go and Google them actually. So it's that easy. So if you were to just go on your, say, Google site and say type ServiceNow Process Mining Academy, which is the keyword here, then you are landing on a page which is essentially a gold mine for you. So you have this blog post by Dan, and at the bottom you see all the recordings right from when the product started out, and a very cool webinars. You can learn, self-learn for free. You can even go into something called use case series and find out what other organizations are doing with process mining, how they do multi-hop analysis, ping pong, reopen, and all these use cases are basically what we've learned from our customers, and we've documented it. So this is all available at your fingertips if you wanted to and if you're keen on learning. And lastly, there is a link about workflow specific mining. So if you say for sales order management, we will post the recording, but if you're interested in anything else like HR case mining or CSM or field service management, SecOps, everything is here if you wanted to just give it a go and start learning from here. So that's a good shout out on free resources available. And then I want to just go back to the deck to talk about this fundamentals course which is out there for free, and you can also get yourself certified in process mining. It's a very short course, 2.5 hours long. We have very good reviews from our customers who are going through the course, so make sure you utilize it. You can write the exam if you're keen on it and get yourself certified as well. And lastly, you're here today, so you know already how to register for process mining events. But if you want this link, this covers not just live on ServiceNow. It has Academy, which is third Thursday of every month. One of us from product team talks about a topic of interest that our other customers want us to tackle. You could ask a live question. So please make sure you register for Academy session as well. And that's also for free. So with so much available to you, we are hoping you will make use of it and start your journey with process mining sooner than later. This slide is basically to just talk about the live on ServiceNow. There's a QR code here on not just process mining, but across ServiceNow, all the events that you could make use of. And of course, we have our impact squad. If you ever need any advice on adoption or further implementation on any of your products in ServiceNow, this QR code is to engage the impact squad. The training and certification website is now updated. We call it ServiceNow University. A lot of it is free, so make sure you make use of the courses that we put out there for you guys. And lastly, expert services team are also internal to ServiceNow, and they help a lot of customers with different implementations, and that's the QR code for engaging them. So this is all at your fingertips now. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I just again open it for any Q&A related questions that Dan and Damien would like to answer. And if not, then we would be okay to close the session for today. So a shout out to you, Dan, Damien. Anything else you see in the Q&A that's worth taking on?
Yeah, there's just a couple of things that I think are worth calling out. One is that course that you mentioned, the ServiceNow University course. An important piece of that is it does spin up an instance for you to get hands-on and create your first projects. It doesn't use sales and order management data, it uses incident data. But I know there's some of you that watch these recordings or join us live here that are looking to get hands-on and don't necessarily have access to an instance to play around with. So that's an important thing that I always like to call out, is that you do get the hands-on experience through that course. And then there's some questions about just what you typed in the Google search to find the recorded sessions. Instead of answering it that way, what we'll just do now is we'll just quickly put in the chat a couple of links
Yes.
that you can click on. One is the first one that we're putting in there is a guide to getting started link, and that is a great index for those of you that are new to process mining. Kind of many of the links that Roz talked to or showed you there, you can get to directly from that page. And then the process mining community landing page here For the product hub, I'll put that in the chat. That's a good one. That'll kind of get you everything. And then the Academy page, I'll put in the chat as well. I mean, if you just search up ServiceNow Process Mining Academy, that's gonna get you to all 30 plus sessions that we have out there. That's the search term that you can use, ServiceNow Process Mining Academy. But the link's now in the chat as well. I think we kind of got to everything that's out there. Any last questions before we wrap up for the day? I'm not seeing any other questions coming in, Roz.
All right.
Um,
So I think we've enjoyed the session, guys, and thanks for joining. If you have any subsequent queries, question, our community blog is your go-to point. Either of us will make sure we answer your question. So please post it on the community site, which is the exact same portal for the Academy. You can go through the community site as well. And for any assistance, please give us a shout and we'll be happy to answer your questions there. And with that, we are closing off for today. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks all for joining us.